This question comes from a user who says that at my church, people want to get to know me and my autism better and understand me and my autism better. How can I, because autism is so complex, how can I communicate this to them in a simple, quick, effective way that they're going to understand? Personally, I think there are probably unlimited ways to go about doing this. One way that works for me is the robot metaphor. If you look at autism as if it's like being a robot with emotions, it makes sense. Depending on your severity of autism, if you're mildly autistic to severely autistic, that's going to determine how much of a robot you seem like or how well you function in society as a person. But on the inside, we still have emotions. We're definitely people. It seems like we may be living in a world of our own, but we're not. We're living in this world. We understand a lot of things in this world, but we're wired very differently from normal people. So, that being the case, there are ups and downs to this. The downside is communication. We have some communication limitations with the people around us. We're not wired the way you are. We're very logical about our behavior, and we particularly don't make a lot of decisions based on emotions. Although we can be very, like I said, we're people. So on the inside, we're very passionate, but we make decisions like robots. So on the outside, we can seem heartless, emotionless, and give the impression that we don't care, or we're not interested, or we're bored. And sometimes we are bored because on the upside to being like a robot, having autism means we have an incredible ability to focus on our special interests. We're very passionate, again, about our special interests, but our special interests are limited. We're like robots. We stick to our special interests with some flexibility, but very little. But because of that, as a robot, we have very high functioning capabilities in our areas of special interest. So if a person with autism has an interest for music, this person with autism is probably incredibly talented with music. But outside of that, they seem not to function very normally. This is kind of a trade-off. This autism is a trade-off of some advantages with some disadvantages. The disadvantages are social. The advantages are talent and knowledge, dedicated to certain things, high degree of loyalty to the things that matter to us, that make sense to us. That's the way we're wired. It works, but it comes across weird in public. So, having Asperger's syndrome myself, being very mildly autistic, but being absolutely definitely on the spectrum, I understand that as a group, we Aspies, or any of us with autism, particularly us with high-functioning autism, our biggest difficulties are social. We're very talented, we're very passionate, we're hardworking, we're loyal, we're dedicated, we may make our own rules sometimes, but we stick to the damn rules that we agree with very passionately and robotically. I think that the troubles that we face in this world can only be solved socially because they're a social handicap. But I think the answer to that is that we are, as a group of autistic people, the answer to our own problem. We should be there for each other. And I don't mean that on be there for your neighbor scale. Yeah, be there for each other, sure. But socially, we need to develop some friendships. We need to, those of us who are dedicated to overcoming this social handicap that we have, or at least bridging it, or working around it, we need to come together and do it together. We're geniuses. We can solve this together. And when it comes to social needs, being accepted understood to a higher degree, feeling like we belong, the people around us making more sense to us. If we get together collectively as a group, even though we're supposed to be asocial people, very avoidant people sometimes, if we come together as a group, I don't think we're going to have the same degree of problems that we have socially that we do outside of our group. So imagine 100 of us Aspie robots getting together, or high-functioning autistics getting together and finding our common interests and common goals. In my mind, it's off the charts, overwhelmingly hard to even imagine the capabilities that we would have if we just came together, and we all have different strengths. So the main point in this video is one of the easiest ways to describe autism is that it's like being a robot, and there are different models of robots depending on how autistic you are, how much of a robot you are. And being a robot, we're not just a robot, we're robots with emotions. We're wired differently from other people, so we have some communication difficulties and social difficulties. We kind of stand out in a crowd, but we also, as robots or people with autism, have special talents that some of the rest of you can only dream of because of our incredible robot ability to focus on our special interest. But yeah, the robot metaphor. We're like robots with emotions, and some of us are more robotic than others. I hope that answers your question, and thanks for contributing your question. This is my first video. I would really appreciate some constructive criticism. If your trolling has a point and a purpose, I'm down with it. Otherwise, get the hell off my page. Please like, comment, dislike, subscribe, don't subscribe, whatever the hell you want to do. But please do something. Appreciate your contributions. I'd like to gear my videos around what you want to hear and what makes you laugh and what gets your interest and what makes you feel like, yeah, I watched a good video. Again, please comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.